Having technical difficulties with the damn camera. So anyway, so I took the retaining wall off. Usually what I do after this is I go ahead and go along and just get this little edge off my rubber. All the way around. Just makes for a cleaner mold. And after I do this, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pry the mother mold off of the silicone. Hopefully it has the strength I need it to have. Since Plasti-Paste stopped working for me the way I liked, I've switched back to doing plaster. Pros and cons of this new material: it's much less messy than plaster. Don't know about the strength of it yet, but I do like the fact that it wasn't nearly as much cleanup and things like that, not quite as much setup time. A con of it is it actually was quite a bit of work. I had to do multiple batches. So as far as it saving time goes, I'm not sure if it's actually a time saver, but we'll see. So now I'm just going to go around. Oh, also what I do, now is the time to do it, is I'll just go along and chase the edge of my rubber to the mother mold like this. All the way around. And I think I got the thickness I wanted. Excuse me. I wound up using almost an entire, actually I did use an entire kit of the Airform. And the main reason that you make a mold like this, I typically for smaller pieces like to do box molds just because it's so much faster. But when you get to a piece this big, imagine solid box mold rubber on this would be about that much. So that's why you start considering and thinking about doing brush up molds like I have here. So anyway, you can see how that's much cleaner than if I were to wait till I've demolded to do it. So now I'm just going to go around and see if I can pry this up. Seems to have a little bit of flex to it, which is good. When you're doing a brush up, you try to eliminate any undercut drafts for this reason, so that the mother mold does not lock. It needs to be able to pop off fairly easily, but just like with other materials I've made mother molds with, the first time you separate it, it actually kind of creates a vacuum, so it wants to argue with you. It does have some flex. It kind of scares me though. I don't want it to just crack on me. You can kind of hear it starting to go. You just work your way around very carefully. And the stuff is strong. And I'm creating some pretty consistent pressure. There it goes. So there we have it. And man, it is lightweight, a little bit sticky. I don't think I didn't give it quite 24 hours to set, but that's pretty cool. So these sharp edges, the next step I'm going to give it a go. Is I usually do this with plaster, but I just use a rasp, and yep, I think a rasp is going to work fine, just to get rid of these sharp edges. And then probably after that I'll come back onto it with sandpaper, just because you don't want to cut yourself when you're sloshing resin or wax or whatever back and forth. But yeah, and this is easily like a tenth, if that, of what plaster would weigh. So some pretty cool stuff. This is the rasp I usually use. Yeah, it's better. That just softens these edges so I don't cut myself. Something else I'm going to do, I'm going to actually have a second opportunity here to show the mixing process of the material, is I want to add a couple of legs to this. I've taken the pains to level my table for pouring purposes. So this mold I'm going to be handing off to the foundry, which is also why I'm doing this. I don't want the guys that are actually going to be doing the wax casting to get all cut up and hurt. But I'm going to do a resin master before I take it to the foundry. And I haven't decided yet. I mean, it'd be pretty big casting as far as material goes. If I decided to do a solid casting, I'm probably going to do a slush. But anyway you look at it, if I were to just turn it this way, it's going to tip. So I want to add a leg here and a leg here to it. So when I do that, I'm going to probably grind out a groove, add a board. I'm going to measure it, level it perfectly, and I'll mix some of the more of this material together. It says you can stick, it'll bond to itself, and I'll kind of use it as a glue. Let that set up, flip it over, and then reinforce it all the way around, and I'll have a couple of perfect legs after I've gotten it leveled out. So now that I know that this is going to work, I can demold the sculpture. So you try to do this, at least me anyway. I work from the outside in. I know the major undercut is under the chin, so I'm going to want to probably lift it and pull it up, out and over this way. Just trying not to damage the sculpture in case I got a bad mold. Hopefully that's not the case. I'm going to wind up recycling this clay. Actually, no, look, it's going to go this way. So I'm going to peel it up and out. And yeah, it didn't damage the sculpture. Well, a little bit. But I'm going to wind up recycling this clay. But I don't want to do that until I know I got a good mold. So that's the thickest material. It's not wanting me to pull it up and around. One of the other reasons why you want to do a brush on mold like this, there we go, is because this is going to be used to do wax casting for bronze. And wax can be very delicate. And I'm just checking to see if I have any major air bubbles. There's a little one right there. Yeah, it looks like there are a few, but that can be cleaned up in the wax. There's an air bubble right there. Looks like all the major details there, though. So see how it's flexible? That would be a problem for casting. This is why you make the mother mold. And voila. that's going to work beautifully. Hope this is helpful. Thank you for watching.